I've only doing these videos on here to show the effects of COVID-19, to give people a little bit of insight.
Stay tuned.
This is 5 Minute Breaking News Alert.
People like to talk about a 99% survival rate from COVID. But what they don't like to talk about is the people who survive their COVID infection in the ICU and the horrors that they have to go through to fight for their life. So when we talk about the effects of COVID, we don't just look at a mortality rate. And this is why.
Quickly, but on the backside of COVID is people who are left on a ventilator with a tracheostomy and a breathing tube, which takes them to long-term mechanical ventilation.
Okay, let's break that down. What you saw is a surgically implanted airway that goes into that man's trachea. He doesn't breathe through his mouth anymore. He breathes through a hole in his neck. He can't talk, and he can't even decide when he breathes. He has a machine telling him how fast to breathe, how deep to breathe, and how often to do it. Because unlike us, his lungs are still not strong enough after weeks on the ventilator in order to regulate that.
Will develop in the lungs so that a tube comes out of the chest and we have to drain fluid like this out of the chest, and this bubbling here.
Okay, let's break it down. What you saw there is called a chest tube. This often goes in the space called the pleural cavity. And we actually see this a lot after COVID, due to the high peak pressure we have to put you on the ventilator in order to sustain your body's life. I wish I could say this was uncommon, but unfortunately I take care of people with maybe 3 of these at a time. Also, not comfortable.
In the bed, on the ventilator, to where their feet and legs lose their ability to have strength.
All right, think about it, people. You've been laying in a bed, paralyzed, most likely, and sedated in order for us to be able to keep your body alive for weeks at this point. Most people cannot move. We protect all of the bony surfaces to try and keep you from getting bed sores. And did you see that tube that looked like it had in it? Well, that's because it did. And that tube went up into his rectum. So don't come to me talking about a 99% mortality rate.
I've only doing these videos on here to show the effects of COVID-19, to give people a little bit of insight of what it's like. It is not fun. Now, I will be honest with you, I am starting to feel a little bit better. I'm nowhere near as in bad a shape as I was once in, you know? But COVID-19 is no joke. I'm not gonna lie. So please, take care of yourselves. God bless. We'll see you on the next video. Okay? Bye.
We have I've had a patient that was quite regretful, and since then that patient has passed away. But one of the last wishes that specific patient had is that the family goes and takes the vaccine. This is obviously a massive regret, and potentially that decision could have saved the life of this patient. And certainly we're happy to know that the family has gone and taken their vaccine, but that's one life here in Saskatchewan that was lost to misinformation, and it didn't have to be that way.
A towering presence, one like the wind. Be a king or a queen. Life in the Philippines.